Hi everybody, I'm Melissa and this video is all about my 5 tips for return to exercise after having your baby. So there is a downloadable PDF that I created for free, so I will post a link to that underneath this video so that you guys can go grab it if you want to. But I thought maybe doing a video with some of these tips would be easier for people to understand kind of the point that I'm getting at. Okay, so my first tip, number 1, is take a breath. So a lot of times after we've been pregnant for 9 months or so, our breath gets a little bit wonky after having our babies because our body mechanics have been a little different. Our diaphragm works a little differently when we're pregnant. So we have to kind of reteach ourselves how to breathe the right way. So what you're gonna do is lie down on your back because it's the easiest way to get that breath going. Okay, so you're gonna lie down on your back. You can have your knees bent, straight, whatever you want, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then just get yourself nice and comfy. And we're gonna focus on what I call an umbrella breath or a 360-degree breath. So we're more than just a belly breath. We do want the belly to rise a little bit with your inhale, but really I want you to focus on those lower ribs all the way around. As you take that breath in, those ribs expand, sort of like an umbrella, out to the sides, up and back. So as you breathe in, it's like opening an umbrella. And then as you breathe out, it just closes back down. You don't have to force that exhale at all or that closing. That inhale is where you're breathing into those ribs. Your belly rises a little bit towards the ceiling and your pelvic floor actually drops with each inhale, and then you just exhale, relax it back out. So you're inhaling into those ribs. Exhale back out. You can see my belly rises a little bit, but it's not like I'm forcing the breath into my belly. That's what I don't really want you to do. I really want you to, sometimes having people put their hands on their lower ribs can help them. So you can put your hands on your ribs. So you're breathing into those lower ribs, expanding them like that umbrella opening. So your inhale and exhale. Sometimes if you are having a hard time getting that sensation of the belly rise, you can grab a little weight or maybe a book or something like that and put it on your lower belly to give you a little bit of tactile or touch cue so that when you take that inhale, you want that item to move a little bit towards the ceiling. Not a lot, it's not a forced breath. Again, nice easy umbrella breath, breathing into those lower ribs, into the pelvic floor, into the abdomen, into the lower ribs, opening like an umbrella, and then you exhale back out. So the next trick, let me show you that inhale, that motion that we want with those ribs is that out and up motion, sort of like a bucket handle motion on the outside of those ribs as you take that breath in. Now the second tip that I have is to brace yourself. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna combine that breath with a little bit of that Kegel or that pelvic floor contraction, like you're stopping your flow of urine, or like you're lifting a marble with your vagina up and in. So that Kegel, along with what I call a abdominal or belly button draw in, okay? So when I'm gonna go back on my back, we're gonna use that breath. So your breath in is where your abdomen and your pelvic floor relax, and then your breath out is where you're kind of just encouraging that little bit of extra motion. So your pelvic floor comes from inhale down, exhale up, and your abdomen goes inhale up, exhale down. So it's a little bit hard for people to get coordinated, but that's why it's important to start after you have your baby so you can get those muscles working again as soon as possible. And it's a really gentle motion. You shouldn't see any movement in your hips, so you're not gonna press your back down or lift your tailbone, nothing like that. This stays pretty, so neutral, nice, easy posture here. This is not gonna move. It should not move with this activation of these muscles, okay? So this bracing activity. So you're gonna take that same inhale into those, into that umbrella, into that abdomen, into that pelvic floor. So your inhale is gonna be your relax and open and out, up and out. And then with that exhale, you're gonna do a little bit of a Kegel or a pelvic floor squeeze, a little bit of a belly button squeeze, just straight down towards your spine without moving your back on that exhale. So your inhale is your relax, expansion, and your exhale is your squeeze, pelvic floor, belly button squeeze towards your spine. It's a nice gentle contraction those muscles work at about 20 to 30% of our maximum voluntary contraction. So as hard as you think you need to squeeze, you could probably squeeze about half that amount and still get a pretty good feeling of that pelvic floor and that abdomen working together. And then the third thing is you're going to use that pelvic bracing or that exercise we just did when you're going to lift your baby or do any activities throughout your day. So anytime you're going to exert yourself, say you are starting to go back to your workout classes and you're doing weightlifting or anything like that, it's the same as when you lift your baby. So you can use your breath to help you out, to help you feel better and to feel more stable. So I'm going to show you that with my little 8-pound weight here, like my baby, okay? So if your baby's in your crib like this, what you're going to do is give yourself a second, take a breath into that umbrella, and then as you exhale, you're going to do that pelvic floor belly button squeeze to stabilize yourself, and then lift your baby as you exhale. So you're going to start your exhale right before you lift and continue through your exhale as you pull your baby towards you out of their crib or off of the floor or wherever it may be. So you're using that breath in, and then that exhale brace, pelvic floor squeeze, belly button squeeze towards your spine, and then lift your baby or get up out of your chair or lift your weight or whatever it may be. Anytime you're exerting yourself, you want to try to use that exhale to try to train those muscles to work a little better throughout your day. The fourth tip I have is take it slow. You have had a baby in your belly growing there for 9 months. Some of us have had more than one baby in our belly. Some of us had more than one baby in our belly at one time. So your body goes through a lot of changes over a long period of time, so you got to give yourself a break. Give yourself some grace. Let yourself get back to normal slowly. So sometimes I'll tell my patients 9 months in, 9 months out, but the more that you can do a little bit early on, the more normal you'll feel as you go forward. So you can start Kegels and those pelvic floor squeezes and those gentle ab exercises and the breathing as early as the day after you have your baby, because they're, again, like I said, really gentle exercises. You don't have to work real hard to get them going. You don't have to squeeze as hard as you can. It's just a nice gentle squeeze just to get those muscles activated and get them used to working again. It'll just be one extra step towards getting back to what you want to be doing as soon as possible. And then the last thing is to really just give yourself the okay to get some time to yourself each day. Sit down, please. That is my third child. So yeah, give yourself this tip number 5. Give yourself some time each day to be doing whatever you want to do without having to feel the need to take care of anybody else. The more that you can get yourself into the habit of giving yourself even 5 minutes every day to do something that you want to do, even if it's just lay down and breathe or lay down and do some pelvic floor squeezes, or even just sit in the bathroom quietly and do some pelvic floor squeezes. The more you get into the habit of giving yourself that time, the more that habit will become natural for you, and you'll be able to take care of everyone else around you better when you take care of yourself. So again, remember, breathing, umbrella breathing, nice, easy. Tip number 1, umbrella breath, 360-degree breath. Tip number 2, brace yourself. So use that inhale, relax, umbrella breath, exhale, pelvic floor squeeze, belly button squeeze. Tip number 3, blow as you go. So use that exhale and that bracing when you go to lift your baby, or when you get out of the car, or when you get up out of the chair, or when you're going to lift your weights at your exercise class when you get back to what you want to be doing. Tip number 4, take your time, slow down. It's not a race. Just feel good about your new body and getting back to what you want to be doing. Just give yourself the grace and the time to get there. And then tip number 5, take some time for yourself every day. Hopefully this is helpful. I hope you guys love the downloadable. Check out the link and get it for free. And then I will see you next time. Say bye.